Senator Tobiko, please.
Finally. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support, the enactment of this bill. Mr. Speaker, I think we cannot overemphasize the importance of, a bill that redeems our situation in terms of climate, because we have suffered a lot, harsh climatic conditions and changes that have become so irregular and unpredictable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even because I see the emphasis on this bill is about carbon credit and monetization of the whole, tree planting and forest conservation. Even as we do that, Mr. Speaker, I would say that it's very important that we have our forests, we have our clean environment, and if having economic value out of it is possible, then that's good. But it must not be the overriding factor, Mr. Speaker. We must still, have our environment, whether we are having money from somewhere or not. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to generations to come, Mr. Speaker. We must keep our environment, sustainable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the counties that have, pastoralist counties that have faced a lot of very prolonged droughts, Mr. Speaker, I can assure you we have seen the harshest part of climate change, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have had a chance to compare of late, when we were in Uasin Gishu the other day, and compare Uasin Gishu and Kajiado and the other counties, Mr. Speaker. These people live in more like in Garden of Eden, Mr. Speaker. Whereas we live in environments that are terribly harsh, Mr. Speaker. We are trying. I bought some land somewhere in Kajiado, and there were no trees, there was nothing. I've been trying to plant trees. I was hoping that one day I will have birds in the place, and today I'm happy that in the morning it's the birds that are waking me up. I was hoping to see butterflies that we used to see when we were very young. Now I am seeing a bit of butterflies in the area. And so I think we can redeem our environment, Mr. Speaker, if we put effort. Actually, when we were young, when we were in primary schools, we used to have what was called the 4K clubs, Mr. Speaker, which was, teaching us about agriculture, about environment and all that. I think we should go back to that, Mr. Speaker. But what hurts me most, Mr. Speaker, in terms of what we are losing, before we talk of what we will plant now, let's talk about conserving what we have, Mr. Speaker. I see a lot of charcoal burning, still in places like Kajiado, where we shouldn't have any charcoal burning right now, because we are creating a desert, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very sad. Every time I meet a border carrying, the 10 sacks of charcoal, it hurts me so much, Mr. Speaker. I think there must be a way for us to address and to conserve, particularly the indigenous trees, Mr. Speaker, because it takes so many years for these trees to grow, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mudigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa ruhusa niweze kuchangia mambo ya mazingara na upandaji wa miti. Yangu tu ni kusema ni asante kwa sababu tuko na serikali ambaye rais anajali mambo ya mazingira, kwa sababu nataka kuambia watu wakati wa zamani, wakati ya kuku wanakatwa